going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. Matt Llewellyn will not be joining us tonight. He is taking care of the family still, so Mike and I are holding down the fort. Apologies for the late start. That is my fault. I have some technical difficulties on my end, and I apparently do not know how to install a shower head, so that is the reason for the delay tonight. If you're tuning in on X, do us a solid. Like and repost the posts. If you're tuning in on YouTube, do us a solid. Hit like and subscribe. Hop in the chat. We appreciate you guys' thoughts. We want to hear what you guys thinking about this game. Week 8. We are basically halfway through the season, Mike. There's 17 regular season games. I mean, I think today we're halfway through the week 8. Or I guess technically, my bad. A week from today would be halfway through, between 8 and 9. That's crazy. It is flying by. I hate it. I don't like it. How you doing, Mike?
I'm great. But let me ask you this. If I told you that halfway through the season, the 49ers would only have 2 losses, and I told you that they didn't have Brock Purdy for the majority of them, they didn't have George Kittle for the majority of them, they didn't have Brandon Ayuk for majority of them, and they didn't have Nick Bosa for majority of them, would you believe me? Just give me a quick yes or no.
No. Not at all.
There's not a chance. Not a chance.
Not
as
all.
weak as this schedule was, I would not say that there was a chance. And so for that reason and that reason alone, I'm hyped. I feel like the Niners can drop 3 games in the next 6, and I would still be absolutely fine. Like, think about that. Even if they drop 3 games in the next 6. I heard it. No, I heard that. That was some real wood banging right there, pause. Right? Like, what I'm saying is the Niners would still be 8-5 if that were to be the case. They would still be 8-5. Bro, that is phenomenal for all of those players to not be playing, more than 2 games in this season. That is absolutely incredible. And so the faithful a little upset, the faithful a little mad. I see the 49er faithful fan base being divided right now. There's like quarterback debates and all that kind of stuff. Guys, we got to hang that all up. We're going to get to it in this episode. Right. But I'm doing well. I went out. I bowled a really, really good game tonight, man. I got hugs from opponents. They were like, yeah, I need you to bring that energy on Friday. Like, this was a really, really good night for me, and I'm looking to take that momentum and bring it into this game and carry it forward into Sunday. So let's rock and roll, man.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, and no controversy. We are all still Perdverts. We're all support Brock Purdy. No controversy here. Perdverts till the day we die. You guys know how.
I have never heard that before. Is that like a thing? Is that a thing? Perdverts?
That's the Brock Purdy supporters. We are Perdverts.
Wow. Can you hear when I come off of mute? Because I noticed the other day that you like I tapped it and you were like, "Oh, you want to say something?" And I never made a sound.
I could see you, so.
So you can see when I reach for it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I can just read your mind.
Right there,
I can just read your mind.
He's got cat-like reflexes over there. All right, let's rock and roll.
All right, so like we said, 49ers are taking on Houston Texans Week 8 in Houston. It is the beginning of a 2-week road trip for the 40. 2 week, yeah, because in 3 weeks they play the Rams back here at Levi's. Both on the East Coast. Well, I guess Houston's not really the East Coast. It's the South, Mid-South, and then they got to go to New York to play the Giants. We saw Houston on Monday night. Now, Mike, 2 weeks ago, or I guess a week ago, we saw our next opponent on Monday night, just like it was this past week, except it was still Monday night. I'm all over the place. And the Atlanta Falcons dominated the Buffalo Bills, and you said, this is great. This is exactly what I wanted, because they're going to come in overlooking the Niners. They're going to be on a high horse. Well, the exact opposite happened to the Houston Texans. They got whooped. They got absolutely whooped. They looked atrocious. Now, to be fair, their defense looked solid. They gave up a good amount of points, but their defense still looks solid. What's your takeaway from that?
My takeaway is this. When you go out on a Monday Night Football game and everything is working, or whatever it is that's working, the opposite is going to happen the following week, right? And so with Atlanta, that offense just was incredible against Buffalo, and they were matriculating down the field. And I said, guys, we don't have to worry about that. That's not going to happen when we play them, right? Now, this past week, it was the exact opposite. That Houston Texans defense generated like 4 turnovers or something crazy like that. I don't even have the numbers in front of me.
No, it was 4,
try to pull them up. They generated 4 turnovers. Special teams was on fire. defense was on fire, but their offense was trash, and that's the part that worries me. I don't think they're going to have that bad of an offense 2 weeks in a row, but there's no way in hell they sustain that kind of defense. And I'm saying that kind, and they still allow 27 points. The offense turned the ball over so many times that Seattle was able to put up 9 points off of those four, even though they had 4 turnovers. Like, so it was really, really weird. They only lost one, so the final thing was like 3 for them and none for Seattle, or 4-1, depending on how you want to look at it. They were +3 in the turnover battle, and Seattle only got 9 points off of it. So listen, it's. I don't think they're gonna turn the ball over like that on the Niners. I think we're gonna be a little bit more meticulous. I think we're gonna be a little more intentional. But we'll get into all that throughout this episode. I still got a good feeling about it, but I don't think their defense takes that many steps back. I still think they end up with 1 or 2 turnovers in this game. That defense looks real. I was like legitimately terrified watching that defense play against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm being a little hyperbolic here, but my prediction at the end of the show could be like 6-0 49ers. Like, their defense is great, but their offense is I made the joke in the group chat today for the 49ers Hive chat. I said, that Texans defense is stingy, and so is their offense. You know, like, both sides of the ball are stingy as hell, and I feel bad for CJ Stroud because you could tell he's trying to get it together. Nico Collins, will go through the injury reports as of today. Banged his head really hard, was concussed. Not sure if he's going to be able to go Sunday. Their second receiver is also beat up. So we'll go through everything in a bit. But yeah, I was watching that game, man, and even as bad as they played, they had a shot at the end. You know, like, they were going to get the ball back down 8 with like 40 seconds left, and some dumbass on the Texas defensive line decided to jump on the pile and get an unsportsmanlike penalty.
Even before that, if you look at their last 3 offensive possessions, at one point on their third or their second to last offensive possession, they had the ball first and goal from like the 3. Yep. Or from wherever it was. Right, they run the ball to the 3-yard line. Yeah, they get it like right there. They don't run the ball anymore. Right. They just pass. Yeah, so they stop the clock over and over. They don't try to run it anymore with Woody Marks, who was absolutely dominating at that point in the game, and they don't get any points for it. Then later on, if you go down more, and I'm not telling you how to go through this whole thing, but later on, they do the same thing. They continue to pass and abandon the run completely, and they should not have done that. They kept going for it on 4th down. They didn't get any of them, and so they didn't get any points at the end there when all they had to do was run the ball. They were down to the 3-yard line.
You're right. So
it was first and goal.
Twice in a row.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm watching this game like, how aren't they running this ball? Like, just run the fucking ball. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we're past. Okay. Run the fucking ball. Like, you are so close right here. You can get 7 points at 6 if you miss the extra. Like, just run the ball. They were absolutely refused to run the ball, and so I was like, you know what? They deserve to lose this one. That's the offensive coordinator. I don't think he's going to make those same mistakes again. I think that if they get down there inside the 5, they will run the ball at least twice, and we got to see if the Niners defensive line is ready to step up. Seattle stopped them the one time, and they completely abandoned it. I don't know if they're going to do that again and make those same mistakes, man. They were so close. I couldn't believe they passed it over and over. They passed it 3 times in a row. After the first rush got them right down there, like to the shadow of the goal line, and they refused to run it again. Absolutely insane. I've never seen a team do that before in my entire life.
Yeah, just absolutely wild. You're telling me CJ Stroud can't get a yard? Like, I get the Seahawks defense is playing great, and they're very talented. By the way, that 49ers win in week 1 has aged like fine wine with some fine cheddar on the side. But Brock Purdy is able to sneak and get a yard, and he's not CJ Stroud's size, so it's really, really unfortunate. They had multiple chances to get into this game, and they just did not want it. They absolutely did not want it. So Seahawks ended up winning. There's a 3-way tie, if you listen to people like Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth and all them, amongst the NFC West with the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers. But there's not tied, because I wouldn't say the 49ers are tied with the Bucs. The Bucs whooped us. Even though we have the same record, we're not tied with them. The 49ers have the tiebreakers. They are the number 1 seed in the NFC West right now. I guess we'll see how long they can keep that up.
However, we're second in the NFC based off of the current standings because of a team with 4 wins. So wins aren't the determining factor. When did this become a thing? I always thought it went from wins first.
It's losses.
And that's insane to me.
Win percentage,
I did not know that.
So that's what they base it off of, winning percentage. So because they have 1 loss,
nuts.
1 tie, their win percentage is higher than having 2 losses. And then it goes down to, like you've said before, Mike, points scored, points allowed, common opponents, stuff like that.
Look at the point differential. The Niners are the second worst of all those teams there, only behind the Eagles. We're +7. The Eagles are +5. But look at every other team.
The Bucs are -1.
Yeah, no, but they have the same. Okay, that's fair. So the Niners are
third worst.
Third, yeah, third worst. They're the third worst. That is insane to me. That's absolutely insane, bro. And for the Bucs to be 5-2 with a 1-point differential, that's crazy too.
-1
but that means
too.
Yeah, so that means the Niners are winning the close games and losing the ones that just aren't close, which was the Tampa Bay game, which was like 30-something to
30 to
something
19
in the teens. Yeah, something in the teens, right? So, I mean, we're right there. We're banging, man. We're scrapping. This is a scrappy ass team. We're gonna fight to the very last minute. That's what the Niners are gonna do. So this is gonna be a good one, man. This is gonna be a smash mouth, bang them up. Who wants it more type of game here? I can't wait to break this thing down. This is gonna be so much fun.
You know what's really impressive too? What really is going to matter is conference wins. The 49ers are 5-1. If you go to the other 2 teams top the NFC West, Seahawks 2-2 and the Rams 0-2. So the Rams lost to the Eagles
and the 49ers.
The 49ers, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So and the Seahawks lost to the Bucs and us. So we have the best record in the division and the best record in the conference when it comes to our division, at least for now. Obviously, we're in week 8. This is going to change, but they've built themselves a nice barrier while being unhealthy. Just like you said, Mike, to start the show, it's almost unfathomable to understand where they're at with who they have. If you would have told me Brock Purdy alone was out, only played 2 games of the first 7, and asked me how many games they won, maybe I say 2, maybe, but it's really impressive what they've been able to do.
Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing about this week in particular. This week, right now, doesn't matter who wins or who loses. The Niners will, at worst, even if we lose this game and everybody else wins, we will still be tied for the best conference record. So the only team that could take us over is the Eagles, and I think they play the Giants. Do the Eagles play the Giants this week? I know the Giants play a conference team, right? Yeah. Yep. So even if the Eagles win, which I don't have them winning that game, by the way.
Really?
I don't have them winning that game. Yeah, I picked the Giants. The Eagles are whatever they are. But the Giants with Dart out there know how to score points. I don't think the Eagles can battle it out. I think with Cam Scatabo, he's going to run roughshod on those Eagles. I think that it's going to be a really, really close game. I think the Giants edge them out by a field goal at the end, even though their kicker missed an extra point, which was the decision in that last game. They lost by 1. I see that. I see it. Guys, take the points and take the Giants and thank me later. I'm telling you something. Listen, my gut has been on fire all year long. That's the gut game right there. Now, I looked at the Niners game, and I saw it was at a 0.5 point spread. I don't know what it is right now.
1.5 per ESPN.
So it bumped up because the betting site that I use, it was a 0.5 point, but I make my bets on Tuesday morning. So something happened between then and now where it changed it, or maybe they just used different odds. But it was a 0.5 point difference between the 2 teams. By the way, Houston being the home team gets 3 points out of the gate, so that just shows you what they think about a neutral field battle right there. I'm taking the Niners, and I'm also I got ahead of myself. I think I'm taking the Niners, but I'm also taking the Giants. So we'll see how it goes. Against the spread. Against the spread.
Go lock in those bets right now, guys. You heard Mike. Yeah, you know what's kind of we're at 15 minutes. You know what's kind of fucked up? The rest of our division has a bye week this week. The rest of our division has a bye week. The 49ers have the last possible bye week in the NFL, week 14. We have to go another 6 games before we get our bye week. And it's funny because they've always given it to us pretty early, or not always, over the last 4 or 5 years. It's either early
It's
or
been the midway
middle.
point or early. Yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden, when we could desperately use it because we're beat to hell, and we could get that. Imagine if we had it this week, like the rest of our division, and Bryce Huff only has to miss a week. You know, it's like, oh, that's one game, I should say. And it's like, oh, that's great. Instead, we don't have for another 6 weeks. But I guess we'll be battle scarred.
like
We'll
it.
be proven.
I like it. Like, let the Niners that are banged up and winning with momentum and the backups and all that, let them continue on their streak of winning. Let them continue with the close matchups and all that. The last game that we lost was against the Bucks. Let them keep going. Let them keep going. I don't want to stop this momentum with the replacements out there, and then give us the bye week later when all the starters are back. Brandon Ayuk will be back by then. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle will be well implemented into the offense. He had nothing offensively last week for us. Let them go ahead and get that much later. Let the people who haven't played, the replacement level guys or the backup guys, let them go out there and get the experience, and then we can bring them in. Hey, sit down, relax. You've been doing X, Y, and Z great. You've been doing A, B, and C poorly. Let's improve on those things in this bye week, and let's go out there and take the rest of the league by storm. We got 4 weeks after that. We're going to go out there and dominate. That's what I want to see.
All right. Since I have this up, this is kind of wild to think. Mac Jones in 5 games this year has more passing yards than CJ Stroud. Now, CJ Stroud, they have had a bye week, so they've played 6 games. But damn. Look at the season
everything.
leaders.
No matter how you look at it, no matter how you try to split it up, right? The Niners are ahead. I don't care how you try to break it down. I don't care what numbers you try to dissect it by. We've done all of this with guys who are injured. I mean, Fred Warner had 51 tackles 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, easily the best linebacker in the NFC. Easily the best linebacker in the NFC.
NFL.
And that's with him. Yeah, that's with him giving up tackles to try to go for the peanut punch and all that stuff. And no, right? Like that's what he does, man. Mac Jones, who has missed 2 games, Brock Purdy started 2 of those games, right? Like, those numbers aren't indicative of the whole big picture for Mac Jones. Like, bring it on. Let's go. That's the benefit of this weak ass schedule that we were talking about heading into week 1. We were talking about how bad the schedule was and what it was going to mean for the Niners. It's paying dividends. It's absolutely paying dividends. We just got to continue to capitalize on who we're playing. But this defense, it does worry me a little bit. They were a tough, stingy. I mean, they gave them they gave the Texans every opportunity against Seattle, man. Right. I mean, you couldn't ask for more from a defense. The offense just really, really shit the bed and let them down.
Yeah. So, enough with the stats. Let's look at some tiers. Let's look at some rankings. So, when we're talking about defensive EPA, look at the Texans. I mean, they have the highest at negative. They're basically at what, negative 0.2 or 1.5 EPA.
They're at negative
play?
0.5.
0.15.
No, it's 0.05. They're right in the middle between 0.1 and 0.
Oh, sorry.
So
That's offense. That's offense.
0.05.
Defense is the y-axis, right?
Oh, okay. I see you. I see what you're saying.
Way up here, and they're, what, 1.5, I want to say? Maybe a little less, maybe 1.25. That's negative. So their defense is taking away an average of 0.125 points per play. Like, they're a very, very good defense. The 49ers are going to have their hands full. It's going to look nothing like what it looks Sunday night, in my opinion, on offense. They're a very talented. I mean, we should be surprised. DeMeco Ryans coaches that unit. They have Derek Stingley. They have Will Anderson. They have Danielle Hunter, and a ton of other players. Jalen Petrie. Like, there's a ton of talent on that defense, and they've been able to remain relatively healthy on defense. Our guy Aziz, who damn near started a fight again last week. it's really going to be tough for the 49ers. Now, on the flip side, their offense, if you look, like Mike was saying, at negative point 0.5. So the reason why they're 2-4 is because their offense is taking away points at a faster rate than their defense could take it away from the opposing team. Or 0.05, I should say, excuse me. Negative 0.05 is their offense. So it's going to be a stingy game. I mean, this could be like a 9-3 type game. It really could be going in with all this considered. What do you expect the 49ers offense to look like, Mike? I mean, we just talked about how good this defense is. Does Kyle have a plan for his former protege, understudy, defensive counterpart?
So this is the benefit of having Robert Saleh here. This game is really going to come down to two people in particular, and it's none of the players. It's not Kyle Shanahan. This is a Robert Saleh versus D'Amico Ryans game, and whichever one of those two guys has the better game, that team is going to win. D'Amico is going to have this team ready to play against this 49ers offense. He knows it. He knows it inside and out, right? It's going to come down to what D'Amico can do versus Kyle and what Saleh can do against their offensive coordinator. That's it. That's what it's going to come down to. I don't expect the Niners to get a ton of turnovers. I expect the Niners to have one, maybe two turnovers in this game, but can we overcome them? The Niners have shown that they can win games where they lost the playoff battle this season, but you can't lose it by 3 or 4. And I want you guys to reflect on that Jaguars game and reflect on that Jaguars and Buccaneers game, right? We lose those turnover battles significantly. If we can keep it close, if it's just +1 for them, we're going to be okay. I think the Niners have what it takes to do it. I don't think that the Texans' offense is going to be as bad as they were last week, but I also don't think that their defense is going to be as good as they were last week. They're not getting 4 turnovers against the Niners. It's not going to happen with Mac Jones out there.
Yeah. I want to say this is the game the 49ers' first defensive interception is going to come, but I don't know. This might be a game where C.J. Stroud only throws it 20 times. You know, who knows? What was he? Let me see what he was last week. I just had his stats up. He was Seattle 23 for 49. He threw the ball 50 times. So maybe I'm wrong, because the least he's thrown the ball this year was week 2, 24 times. He's averaging about 215 yards per game. So nothing crazy. But let's get into the, you know what, that leads to my next point. Let's get into these injury reports.
Yeah, no, this is going to be significant because while Zach is typing that up there, you guys can see it there. This is going to be the Niners injury report is long. It's been long, right? But they have recently lost some guys, 2 starting wide receivers. Well, Zach's going to pull it up. This is possibly going to play in favor of the 49ers. Maybe.
So this is as of today. Let me zoom in a little bit. You guys can see. As of today, wide receiver Nico Collins did not practice with a concussion. In my opinion, it's going to be hard for him to get cleared and go through the concussion protocol and play by Sunday morning if he is still do not practice as of Wednesday. Christian Kirk did not practice with a hamstring injury. Jalen Smith was limited with a hamstring injury. I wish they had positions here. I don't know these players off the top of my head. Elijah Huzzy, full participant with a knee injury. Brandon Bates, limited with a wrist injury. Dalton Schultz, tight end, I know that one, limited with a back and shoulder injury. Derek Barnett, pass rusher, limited with an ankle injury. And pass rusher Danico Autry, limited with a knee injury. So that's a lot of offense that's out. I mean, they're already without Joe Mixon. Nick Chubb, I think, is active, but hasn't looked the same since his debilitating ankle injury from a year ago, however long it was. So obviously the top 2, in my opinion, stick out.
Yeah. And Elijah is their starting corner. So, you know, he was limited, but he looks like he's going to be out there. I mean, he was full. I'm sorry, he was a full participant. Jalen Smith. Let me see what he is there. Jalen Smith is a corner also. So there's two players in their secondary that are either limited or full participant, but both showing up on the injury report list there. Both of their starting wide receivers are out. I don't. Now, you have to go through 3 days and then be cleared on the 4th. So it sounds like Nico Collins will be a game-time decision, except if he has a setback in the next 2 days. So he's going to be a game-time decision. Christian Kirk still has a possibility of playing, but these are all things that benefit the Niners. There are all things that benefit the 49ers. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we can go out there. Derek Barnett is a guy that I want the Niners to sign as a pass rusher.
Same.
He's a guy I want the Niners to draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't. So it is what it is. This is a favorable injury report for the 49ers.
So
until you show our injury report.
Right. I was going to say on the flip side. This is the 49ers injury report. Jake Brendel did not participate with the hamstring injury. They opened Spencer Burford's practice window, and he was limited coming off that knee injury. So they have 21 days to activate him to the official roster. Kalia Davis, full with the hand injury. Luke Gifford, limited with a hamstring injury. Bernardo Green, limited with a toe injury, not turf toe. Yetur Gross-Matos did not participate with a knee and hamstring. I almost don't expect Gross-Matos to return for some reason. It just seems like that's kind of like a Drake Jackson situation. And if he plays anything, I'll take that as a win. Bryce Huff did not participate. He's going to be out 2 weeks with a hamstring injury. Juwan Jennings, full participant. I think that's the first time I've seen Juwan as a full participant since he's had his 5 broken ribs and 3 broken ankles. Mac Jones, full participant as well with a knee and oblique injury. Diamador Lenore, which was kind of a surprise pop-up, did not participate with a quadricep injury. Christian and Trent both got veteran days. Ricky Pearsall still not participating with a knee injury. Brock Purdy limited with the turf toe. Upton Stout limited with the ankle injury. Mike, does that Lenore name being on this list concern you?
No, I think that if Lenore said my hangnail hurts, they would have kept him out just to make sure. He's going to lock down whoever's out there. So I like that. I don't like that he's a non-participant. I would have preferred to see it say limited, but if that quad is really, really bad and he doesn't play, then we're in a lot of trouble because that secondary has been hit or miss. And they've been targeting anybody not named Diamador Lenore.
Right.
So I'm hoping that they can get him back out there. He is going to he might be the decision maker with whether or not I pick the Niners to win or lose, actually.
Yeah, I didn't even know he got hurt. So, I mean, with the way the 49ers have been this year, he got hurt getting in his car or something. Do you remember a couple years ago, Jeff Wilson Jr. tore his Achilles standing up from working out?
In the locker room.
In the locker room.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, yep.
That type of
happens,
shit
man.
only happens to us, man. I tweeted on Monday when we found out Bryce Huff was hurt. Only the 49ers have players that will go through an entire game, play well, finish the game, and then wake up Monday morning and suddenly have an injury that's going to put them out multiple weeks. It's almost unfathomable to really grasp just the sheer size and numbers of the injuries the 49ers are dealing with. The joke I was saying in the group chat is next man up. Bryce Huff was the next man. Bryce Huff was the next man up. Now we're next man to the next man up, hoping that somebody else, Sam Okuwanu maybe, can come in and really get that pressure. I don't know, man. I know the 49ers are saying this isn't going to alter their decision into whether or not they trade for someone. I feel like I don't believe them, and I think, maybe it won't alter whether they won't, but it definitely puts a little more pressure on them to get it done.
So what they meant by that, the Niners were already looking for another edge guy. What they were saying was we're not looking for a second edge guy because Huff is injured. He's going to be back in a week or two. We're not going to look for another guy to trade for at the edge position. So if they were already looking for one edge, Huff showing up on this injury report, hey, he'll be back in a few. We'd rather nurse him and get him back fully and then bring him back in a couple of weeks. I think that's what they meant. I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm not inside the front office, and no one's calling me and saying, "Hey, Mike, this is what is going to happen." No, I don't think that's. But I don't think that's it. So with Huff showing up on the injury report on Monday, I like that they announced it early. You see him did not participate. They made it clear he's going to be out a couple of weeks. So that was him and Jake Brendel. They said both of those guys are having hamstring injuries and are going to be out a couple of weeks. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Also, hamstrings, like, maybe I'm being a little too pessimistic here, but in my opinion, the 49ers are being too optimistic by saying 2 weeks exactly. Like, those are kind of hard to judge, like, to be able to just say, no, 2 weeks he'll be back. It's like, who knows how he feels in 2 weeks? Maybe in 2 weeks he's going to say, you know what? It still doesn't really feel great. Maybe he's a third week. So, and by the way, I've also said this, 2 weeks in 49ers language could be 3 months. It could be 3 weeks. It could be 4 weeks. Like, you never really know with how they report on injuries. So, I guess we'll see. Go ahead.
That's kind of the issue with like reading a 49ers injury report, right? It was Brock Purdy out 3 to 5 weeks, turf toe. And then he was back in 2.5 weeks, so 3 weeks, right? And now he's just indefinitely out. We have no idea when Brock Purdy is showing up. Now, when you look at this list here, right, they have Brock Purdy listed as a limited participant. He was practicing, but the difference is Mac Jones was a full participant. So it sounds like Brock is ahead of him. Kyle was asked very directly, is it a stretch to say Brock Purdy will play this week? And he said, yes, it is. I don't know who told you guys otherwise. Like, it is a stretch to say that he's going to play. So Kyle's been adamant about what's going on with his team, and we shouldn't expect anything different.
Right. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot to try and read through the lines. I guess we'll see how things shape up. It's really unfortunate being this beat up, like, immediately going into the year. We're not even through for the first half, and we can't seem to stay even the guys that we have. I mean, I've heard John Middlecoff say it's like every time they play a game, they lose 1 to 3 starters. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Whether they're out for the year, out for a couple of weeks, out for a couple of months, like, it's just you can't make it up. You really can't. But the 49ers aren't making any excuses. I've heard them all say nobody's going to feel sorry for us. Once that game clock starts, nobody's going to say, oh, let's take it easy on them. They don't have Warner. They don't have Bosa. No, they're all trying to win. So they're going to come in here and do their best. They're going to go to Houston and do their best. So, okay. So we got the injury reports. Let's see. Is there anything else before we start getting into this matchup? Anything that you want to talk about?
Before we get into the matchup, yes, there is one more thing. I mentioned it at the top of the show. The coaching staff. These are two teams that know each other really, really well. Who's their offensive coordinator? I keep forgetting to look it up, but the Houston Texans and the 49ers know each other really well based off of their staff, right? Like, DeMeco was here as a defensive coordinator practicing against this team. He knows what the Niners like to do. He knows how Kyle likes to kind of hold players hostage based off of, forget their name, the position that they play. Kyle manipulates positions, not individual players. And so I think that that's going to be the key here to this game. It's going to be which coach is willing to take more chances when calling plays on the offensive side of the ball, who's willing to be a little bit more deceptive. Yeah, that's the word I want. Who's willing to be more deceptive going into this game? That's how this game is going to be decided. And so I'm really excited because personally, I feel like Kyle Shanahan has been in his bag this year. I think that he has taken everybody, every injury and all that stuff and said, guys, we can catch him off guard if we do this. And he's done it. And he's taken advantage of it and all. He's got to continue to do that. The issue is, it's DeMeco. He knows Kyle really well. And that's the terrifying part. How well do we know the Texans offensive coordinator? I don't know. Are they calling a Kyle type offense? What's the wrinkles they're going to put into it? You know what I mean? Like that's the part that makes me scratch my head. So that's going to be the deciding factor here. Who's going to take advantage of it more?
It is a strange situation. Typically, when Kyle plays against his proteges, I don't know what the word is, former assistants or co-workers, co-coaches, coordinators, he gets the better of them, right? I think he has a winning record against Sean McVay. He has a winning record against LaFleur. I think he has a winning record against McDaniel, but they might be 1-1. I'm not sure how many times they played each other. He had a winning record against Saleh. This is the first time he's playing D'Amico. It is interesting to see how it's going to play out. Who has the hand over who? In my opinion, I think the 49ers have the edge coaching-wise because as great as D'Amico is, he doesn't really have anything to do with that offense. So he's completely dependent on his offensive coordinator doing a good job, and he's not. I mean, he simply is not doing a good job. They want him out already. They're hoping Mike McDaniel gets fired tonight so they could fly him in tomorrow morning. And the 49ers, on the other hand, Kyle Shanahan is an offensive mastermind, but he also, due to the last couple of years, I think knows a little more about defense than he wanted to. But now he can kind of sit back and allow Robert Saleh, who's coaching, at a very, very high level. I mean, has all these young kids out there, guys that a lot of, the average NFL fan probably doesn't even know the name of, wouldn't recognize it, playing at a high level and winning games. So I think the edge goes to the 49ers in that respect, but I do get what you're saying, Mike, is they're very familiar with what he wants to do, and that they being the Texans and D'Amico Ryan. So how much of that translates to Sunday morning when they play, and are they going to be in the right spots? I mean, think back to that Christmas night game against the Ravens where Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, they were saying, we knew what Brock Purdy and Kyle Shanahan wanted to do, so we were just able to get in the routes. We were able to jump the routes before they happened and just get in front of it and get the interceptions, or get a hand up on the ball, allow it to somebody else to intercept because it tipped 50 yards into the air for some reason. But do they have that advantage? I don't know. I don't think so, but I could definitely see it. This defensive line is going to be a handful for the 49ers. You got Will Anderson, You got Danielle Hunter, Nico Autry, Derek Barnett, and those are like rotational guys. They're not even their main guys. The last two.
They get busy. Like, that's the thing. They get busy. I saw that last comment there from Mark Cisneros. He said, isn't Kyle 2-1 against his coaching tree? No, I don't know where you got that stat from, because McVay would have to be included in that. We won this year. We won that this year.
I think he means his coordinators, his direct coordinators. So out of these two, out of Saleh and McDaniel.
Okay.
And I think that's correct, because we beat McDaniel the first time his rookie year,
and
when
we
they
beat the
came
Jets
to San
week
Francisco.
one also.
Exactly, yeah. And then we lost to Miami last year. So,
okay.
If that's what he said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But, the truth of the matter is it doesn't matter. It's a new year, new team. Kyle is without all of his weapons. When we played against the Jets in week one a couple of years ago, that was the healthiest the Niners have been in a long time. And we went out there and beat the Jets. I mean,
minus McCaffrey.
Right. Yeah. And so, we have to throw all that stuff out and just have to look at what we have here and what's facing us right now. This is going to be a tough game. I do like that 0.5 point spread. This is a toss-up. It might come down to which kicker is the best. It might come down to which defense can make one play more. Honestly, it might come down to which special teams unit is the better special teams unit. I could see this game going a plethora of different ways for either team. And that's where we are. Who's going to have the most discipline? Who's going to make the most plays? Who is going to be the least liability for their team? Which phase of the game is going to benefit who more? And that's what it's going to come down to. And this isn't me just caping or making excuses. A lot of people, oh well, you just think they're going to lose, and so that's why you're saying that. No, it's not that at all. I feel like the Niners are going to win this game. I do feel like the Niners are going to win this game. But if we ended up losing, I could see exactly how it's going to play out. I could see it. D'Amico's going to put that defense in the prime position. He's going to take away the middle of the field and dare Mac Jones to beat them to the outside and to the boundaries. And the run game, he's going to just stuff it up. Like, I could see exactly how it's going to go if we were to lose this game. But the question is, can he do all of that with the players he has available to him?
I got a couple of graphics to show you. The first one is about this defense. And I know we've already talked about how good they are. But, oh, crap. This is an old post. I just realized that. Well, scratch that. Let me show you this one instead because this is current. Hit the wrong tab. Here we go. Cornerback coverage allowed. Yards allowed versus passer rating. So to understand this graph, yards allowed, you want to be further to the right because that's the least yards allowed per snap. And passer rating, you want to be to the top because that's the lowest passer rating. Jamel Dean apparently is having a hell of a fucking year. He's allowing 0.7 yards per coverage snap with a passer rating of about 10, roughly. You know what stood out to me, though, Mike? Look at these two.
Demo, baby. Everyone said, should we keep Ward or should we keep Demo? And the Niners said, fuck it, we're going with our guy. Now, what I will say is Ward hasn't played, 2 or 3 games this season? So he doesn't have all the games under his belt that Demo has. Those numbers would be different if he just played more games. That just period, because there would be more yards added into the total. So
it's true.
We made the right choice. I don't care if it's one more catch for one more yard. There would be a difference there. So the Niners made the right choice there.
Yeah. Also,
Ward has missed a couple of games this year already.
I got no problem with Mooney Ward. I respect him. I think he was great for him when his time was here. For us when his time was here.
I don't fuck him.
Fair. Diamador Lenore embodies what it is to be a 49er. Like, I love
yes,
that
sir.
dude. I hope he never plays for another team in his career. I hope he retires here as a 49er. Just, he's such a dog, dude. He's such a great success story, and he just plays with that mentality. Every single week, you love to see it, and I couldn't be happier that he's having the success he's having over the past 2 years.
What I don't get is his passer rating allowed when targeted. Like, Diamador Lenore is not allowed at 80. That's an 8, right? Like, that's the line he's on. He hasn't allowed a passer rating of 80. He hasn't allowed that.
It's about average.
I haven't seen this. Good.
He's given up catches. Maybe they're not much. If you target somebody and it's a catch, I guess that's a good passer rating. I don't know. I don't understand how passer rating would be calculated on specific catches. I thought it's like your work overall as a quarterback. So I don't really understand how that's calculated, to be honest with you. But
right.
I think,
so
look at the group he's in.
To the top left corner, yeah.
Yes, top right.
Top right. I said left. Yeah, I meant right. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's where you want.
By the way, Derek Stingley's.
Yeah.
He's giving up some yards.
Come on.
So
come on. And so is Kamari. Yeah, there he is. Yeah. Let's go, Kyle. Yeah. Get after these guys, man. Get after these guys, bro. Yeah. Teams have been targeting anybody not named Diamador Lenore for the 49ers. So Renardo Green is going to be on this list somewhere. And Zach highlighted him already. They're going to show everybody not named Diamador Lenore, and they're going to all be further than him. Now, obviously there's some sort of qualifying
150 coverage
because so the other guys aren't even showing up, but I promise you they're higher than Renardo. Yeah. They're higher than Renardo. You know what I'm saying? So that's the question right there is, can CJ Stroud have enough time in the pocket to make those plays? Now, when you look at this last game against Seattle in particular, they were all over Stroud. I don't know that the Niners are going to generate that kind of pressure. I don't know if they're going to generate that kind of pass rush. So he's going to have more time to stay back there, make reads, and make comfortable throws. He's not going to have the same terrible-ass game. This is what I said. Their offense isn't going to play that poorly, so it's going to come up. But I also don't think their defense is going to play that well, and it's going to come down. Can we be better than them in the middle, right? They gave up 27 points. They only scored 19. Expect them to give up 21-ish and expect them to try to score 23-ish. That's their goal for this game. And that's why it's a 0.5 game or 1.5 point game. Like that's why those numbers come out the way that they are. Can the Niners exceed that? Can we get 3 touchdowns and a field goal? Because if so, that's the sweet spot right there, 24 points. That's what we need to be able to do in this game.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah. By the way, Quinyon Mitchell was a top 100 player last year. According to this, Renardo Green is playing better than him this year. So now take it with a grain of salt because I know Renardo Green's missed some time and whatnot. But I don't know of anybody who said, damn, got to go up against Quinyon Mitchell this week.
Where is he?
He's to the left of Renardo Green.
Oh, for the Eagles. Yeah. There he is. Yeah, bum ass. Let's go. Get your bum ass out of here, huh? No, I'm playing. I'm just talking shit.
Lenore is allowing less yards per coverage snap, by the way, than Pat Surtain, last year's Defensive Player of the Year. I think I saw Trent McDuffie's here, Denzel Ward's here, J.C. Horn. I mean, these are like household names.
Will Johnson, yeah.
Will Johnson.
Like, look at all those
Christian
players
Gonzalez,
here, yeah.
And Diamdo Lenore is having a great, and he's played every game. It's not like, like you said with Ward, where it's like, oh, well, he's played only, missed a few games. No, he's having a great season. He's played every game, so shout out to him. I wanted to play this clip. This per Aaron Wilson of the NFL, and this is D'Amico talking about Robert Saleh and all that he's taught him in his career. So I'm going to play this real quick.
Saleh was truly a blessing, just, from the standpoint of a young guy like myself coming in and coaching. Think you know a lot about playing ball and think you know a lot about coaching, but working with Robert, he truly showed me like what it takes to coach and the detail, the fine details, the small things that it takes as a coach, how you have to be deliberate in your preparation, like how are you saying things to players, not just relaying a lot of information to them, but how are you truly teaching it? How do you understand each guy in your room? How do you teach it different? Some guys may need more walkthrough, or some guys you can tell them one time, some guys need to write it down. So Robert Saleh, he taught me all of that, of what it takes to be a good coach, and I'm so blessed and thankful to have learned under him because he's such a meticulous, detailed person, not just in coaching, but just in life. And I've learned a lot from him, and I'm thankful for all the things that he's taught me. Right?
And it's going to boil down to, did Saleh keep something in the tuck? You know what I mean? Like that. Those kind of conversations always terrify me. I know that when I talk to my staff, right, and everybody that reports to me, I have 19 guys right now that report to me and do the job that I used to do before I became a supervisor. And I tell them everything that I used to know because I want them to be better than me. I want them to be more dependable. I want them to be more reliable. I want them to be more efficient in everything that I wasn't. I point out my flaws so that they can overcome them. I'm hoping that Robert Saleh kept some shit close to the chest, because if D'Amico knows all that he knew, all that Robert Saleh knew, he's going to add in his sprinkle, and then that automatically by default makes him better than Robert Saleh. And there are some people in this 49ers fan base that say D'Amico got more out of this defense than what Robert Saleh did. There are people that were saying that before this year. There are people that were saying that before this year, that D'Amico was the better defensive coordinator than what Robert Saleh was. Everyone said that Robert Saleh couldn't do shit until he got Nick Bosa. Well, ladies and gentlemen, he had Nick Bosa for what? 2 games, 2.5 games, something like that, right? And he's still out there doing the same shit that he was doing. So I'm not going to just chalk it up to Nick Bosa anymore. I think Robert Saleh getting away from this team, learning other position groups better, getting away from the linebacker position group and all that, and really focusing on what the defense would do overall, I think that benefited him a lot. So it's going to be interesting. Saleh and D'Amico only overlapped for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I think it was just 2 years that they overlapped for. And Robert Saleh since then has had another 5 years under his belt. So hopefully Saleh has learned some more, has developed more, like Ian Sharp says, and has improved. And D'Amico's going to be like, oh, wow, that guy's way better than what I thought. That's what we need to see in this game.
It's funny because it's back-to-back weeks of Saleh going against his former understudies, so to speak, right? Jeff Ulbrich in Atlanta, who was Saleh's DC in New York, eventually replaced him as the interim. And now D'Amico Ryans, who was the linebackers coach here, who replaced Saleh as well when Saleh went on with the Jets. So it's kind of the student versus master for him 2 weeks in a row. And he gets to prove I'm the master still. You learned from me, so I'm still implementing my system at a higher level. The only equalizer here are the injuries, of course. It's the level of talent. Because if you gave Robert Saleh the defense that D'Amico has, they'd be flying around just as good, if not even better. So shout out to D'Amico. I hope they turn their season around just after this week. Let us get this week, and then we'll go from there. Because the 49ers desperately need this streak to continue. All right, Mike, should we get in our predictions now?
I'm ready, baby. Let's do it.
right.
Let's do it.
Rounding in on the hour timeline, or timestamp, I should say. So, predictions for Week 8 versus the San Francisco 49ers versus the Houston Texans. Let's start with offensive, Mike. Who do you got for offensive MVP? Chat, let us know your predictions as well.
All right. Before I do this, I want to ask your opinion. Last week I said George Kittle, but not because of stats. I said because of effectiveness and key to success in the run game. I want to ask you, was I right or wrong in that? Christian McCaffrey's first 100-plus yard rushing game, 200 total scrimmage yards, plus 200-plus scrimmage yards, and 2 touchdowns. Do I get credit for that because of the outcome?
Yes, 100%, yes.
Oh, man. It's going to be hard to stray away from it again. Okay. All right. Kittle never has a good game on National Tight Ends Day. He's got 1 touchdown out of 4 National Tight Ends Day, so I'm not looking for George Kittle to come out here and get stats. I am going to go with Kendrick Bourne.
Oh.
I'm going to go with Kendrick Bourne. I think that the rest of the NFL expected George Kittle to have a down week, his first week back, as far as offensive production and stats, right? I feel like that Kittle's blocking combined with Juwan Jennings forcing himself back out there and their blocking was going to open up things in the run game. I think that continues this week. However, the alligator arms from Juwan Jennings is going to make this go back to a Kendrick Bourne game where he has over 100 yards. He's not going to get that 142 again, that magic number that everyone was talking about. I hated that they highlighted it so much heading into this game. And then I don't even know what he finished the game with last week. Do you know?
He had like 3 catches. I can tell you right now. I want to say he had like 3 catches, if that, maybe.
Right.
Pulling it up.
And so
2 catches for 14 yards.
Yeah, and so I don't think it's going to be the case. He was 100% for the receptions, like you said, 2 for 2. I think they changed it up a little bit. I think that they depend more on Kendrick Bourne in the passing game. There's not going to be an Ayuk. There's not going to be a Pearsall. And so they're going to want Kendrick Bourne to be out there and be that guy. I still think that they try to save George Kittle and his injury a little bit, 1 more week. Especially in a game that's against the AFC. I want to stress that to you guys. This is an AFC game, and the Niners feel like we can drop this one if we have to. I know no fan wants to hear it, but we're not going to put Kittle's body and long-term health on the line in a game against an AFC opponent. We have an NFC opponent coming up very soon against the Giants, and the Giants score points now that Jackson Dart is out there. So I'm going to go with Kendrick Bourne. Give me 11 receptions, give me 132 yards, 1 touchdown. 11, right. 132, and 1. Kendrick Bourne. I still think the blocking and all that stuff takes place, but I'm not going to go with the same lame player of the game offensively.
Okay. Damn. All right. Hard to follow that up. I have on mine, my prediction, a tight end on National Tight Ends Day, not named George Kittle. Give me Jake Tonges. I think Jake Tonges has
Let's go.
5 receptions for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he gets into the end zone twice. With Kittle being out there, the defense, D'Amico, if anybody knows how lethal Kittle is, they're going to focus on stopping 85 and 23, which is going to allow 88 to be free. So maybe we see some more 2 tight end sets. I think Jake Tonges has a good game, allowing himself to kind of be in George Kittle's shadow, allowing the defense to focus on George Kittle as a receiving threat. Which is what we saw last week, by the way. Like, he was going out there running routes, and the Falcons were so focused on preventing him from taking over the game. They bracketed him, they doubled him, which allowed McCaffrey to be open underneath, allowed Jennings to be open every now and then. So give me Jake Tonges. By the way, I think both of us, it's like a given that McCaffrey is going to be the MVP. So I think both of us are like, aside from McCaffrey,
staying away from it. Yeah, we want to go with the
obviously
that's the obvious choice.
Yeah, he's gonna have over 100 total yards.
Did my sound effect play just then?
I didn't hear it. Wait.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember actually. Chat. There you go.
You hear it? Okay. All right. Cool.
Maybe I heard it and I just forgot.
All right.
It's late.
I played that when you said 88, so it's cool.
All right, cool. Chet says they heard it. Defensive MVP, Mike. Who do you got?
This is going to be a tough one, and I mean that for multiple reasons, right? Like I really believe that Deommodore Lenoir is only going to give up 3 receptions tops, right? Their wide receivers are out. They're playing with 3rd, 4th, and 5th string wide receivers as well, and that's low hanging fruit. That's like picking Christian McCaffrey on the offense. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with. Okay, I'm going to go with Sam O.
Oh.
I'm going to say that Sam O finishes this game with 6 pressures, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. Sam O. Yeah, that's where I'm going to go. Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
6 pressures, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble for the defensive lineman.
Okay. I like that a lot. Samo, who had his best game of the year, probably of his career, by the way, Sunday night, alongside Bryce Huff against the Falcons. I think Bethune has another good game, but I don't want to put too much pressure on him to have back-to-back career games filling in for Fred Warner. So I'm going to go with his counterpart, D. Winters. D started off the season really hot, was playing well, and he's kind of gone down, unfortunately. But I think Sunday he's going to have another good game. And again, I agree with you that Lenoir, it's kind of like McCaffrey for the defense. Lenoir is kind of the de facto MVP, taking away one side of the field. Dare I say he gets his first interception for the Niners this Sunday? Should have had one last week, but OPI prevented that. Anyway, that's another story.
Excuse me, bitch.
I'm going to go with D. Winters, and I think he's just all over the place. Maybe Saleh uses him on some blitz. Maybe he gets a sack, forced fumble. He is basically our Azeez Al-Shaair. So we're going to have our old Azeez with our new Azeez going at it. So we'll see who comes out on top. But give me D. Winters. I'm going to say he has 8 tackles and a turnover. I don't know if it's a tip pass that gets intercepted. I don't know if it's a forced fumble. But I think he's involved in a turnover. That's my pick.
I'm going to say this also. Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Apparently he's a Texas boy. Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting crazy feedback right now. You talked about is it possible he gets the first pick? For three weeks in a row, I have said the 49ers are going to get their first interception. I am not going to say it, so I reverse the jinx right now. That's the only reason I'm not going to say it, because I sincerely think that it's possible in this game with the way things are going. but I'm not going to say it because I want to break the jinx that I have personally put on the 49ers. So I'm not predicting an interception. Let's see how it goes.
If anything, C.J. Stroud might not have an incompletion for all we know, right? If anything,
Perfect game.
So, yeah, perfect game. Do you remember that game Purdy had a couple years back where he was like 19 for 21 or something crazy like that against the Cardinals?
Yeah.
That was a wild game. I think I was at that game, actually. Yeah. And by the way, they did have an interception. Upton Stout had one, and the fucking refs called it back on some BS. So it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But anyway, now it's turned into this whole thing. They gotta break it. But I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. I'm not gonna make it a thing. Final score predictions, Mike. Who do you got? Chat, let us know your predictions.
Yeah, chat, put your score predictions in here and who you have as the winner. Don't just put in numbers. Let us know which team you think is going to win. This is the toughest thing that I've come across all week long. Again, that Texans defense looked feared to be revered against Seattle, and that was on the road in a very, very tough environment to play in. And man, was that crowd bone silent when they were on the field. It's going to be the exact opposite when they get down here to Houston. And that's going to make it tough for the 49ers. I think that crowd was dying to make some noise while in Seattle, but the problem was half of them weren't there. I'm gonna predict this to be a 2-point win for the winning team. I'm going to call this one 20-22 Niners. 20, yeah. I'm going to go 20-22 Niners. Zach, you're on mute.
Thank you. Wanted to look at what the over-under was for this game. Pulling it up right now. 41.
Yeah.
Probably the under hits, I'd imagine. Well, you have the over hitting, I guess, just barely. Give me... Doing the math in my head.
It's tough. It's tough, man. This is going to be a good game.
I have the Niners 20-15.
There it is.
And hear me out.
Sorry.
I don't think the Texans get 5 field goals. I think they get a touchdown, a blocked or missed extra point, and 2 field goals. Or three field goals, because that'll be 6 plus 9, right?
So you don't think the Texans get in the end zone at all?
No. They get 1 touchdown, but miss the extra point. That's my prediction. And their offensive line really is horrible. If there was ever a game we could try and get through without Bosa or Huff, I guess it would be this one. But, man, I'm going to be biting my... If C.J. Stroud has enough time to camp back there on Sunday morning, I'm going to be so pissed off. If our defensive line can't get home against this offensive line, even with all of our injuries, it's going to be a long day. So hopefully they could take advantage. Hopefully Samo and Travis Gibson show up and ball out. Robert Beal got activated to the active roster today. Hopefully the 49ers defensive line can make this Texans offensive line lives living hell Sunday. All right, Mike, was there anything else you wanted to include here?
No, I don't think so. I'm very happy with how the show went. I think I've expressed enough how tough I think this was going to be. I don't think that this is going to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. I think it's going to be a nail-biting, nerve-wracking event. And I'm just hoping that the Niners can answer and stay true to themselves. This is going to be on the road. If we were at home, I would have the Niners winning by like 5. But because we're not the crowd noise, I do believe in NFL home field advantage. So we just got to see how it plays out. But here's what I will tell you this. Regardless of whether or not the 49ers win or lose, this was one of the games that I thought we might lose. I've always respected DeMeco Ryans. I love C.J. Stroud. Blame my Ohio State favoritism and all that. So I think that this is going to be a tough one in general. You add in all of the injuries. You add in the week that the Niners have. But here's the deciding factor. Maybe it's the short week that the Texans had.
Yes, we forgot to
and
talk
having
about
to
that.
fly back home to play the Niners.
Yeah.
So that day of travel and all that puts them at a -2 for this week of rest versus the 49ers. Let's take advantage of it and go out there and get it.
So we thank you for bringing that up because I totally forgot to talk about that. Texans got screwed over by the schedule makers. Not only did they play Monday night, they played Monday night in Seattle and the second of a doubleheader. They didn't kick off until 9 p.m. their time. So they got whooped, got beat up, and then had to fly back. I mean, I don't think they got back home, but the time change until about 7 a.m. local time. And it's Monday morning at this point, or sorry, Tuesday morning, right? Because they played Monday night. So you're already down a practice day, and then are you going to go straight to the field and practice Tuesday? I'm sure you're not. I'm sure you're going to go sleep. So you're down 2 days. Like you said, Mike, the 49ers have a 2-day, not only rest advantage, but practice advantage on them. Now, the Niners have to travel to Houston, but it's not going to be as urgent and short notice like you would leaving after a game at like midnight. So definitely something to consider. But that's going to do it for tonight's show, guys. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, I was just going to say, and on the day that the Texans, so like, okay, week 7 ends, and each team has to study the film of the opposing team, all the film plus the week before, right? The Niners got to get their jump start on reviewing the film for the week before the day that the Texans were playing. The Texans didn't get a chance to review the Niners after they played unless they sat there and watched them. Now, maybe they did on Sunday. Maybe. But it was like Zach said, it was a doubleheader. So it's more fresh to the Niners than what it is to the Texans. These are all things that are going to benefit us in the long run. So I'm hoping that the dividends pay out. And again, the schedule people help the Niners out as much as possible here. I said this over and over that I felt like we had a favorable schedule this year. I talked about the opponents. I talked about the days of rest. And this is one of those benefits that I think the Niners have right here. So let's go out here and take advantage of what the opportunity presented to us.
Right. Finally, because if you guys remember the last couple of years, they've been last or next to last in net rest when it came to this schedule. I think last year they were last with like -31 rest days or some wild shit like that. This year they were close to the top. So finally the schedule makers blessed us. We appreciate it. Now to wrap up here, Mike, Justin says, I'll be on the Patreon for the game and the rest of the chat should be too. It's so much fun. Thank you, Justin. Let them know where to find it, Mike.
I've been telling people we have a freaking blast over there on Patreon, man. Whether it's me doing the shows 99% of the time or my daughter's having to run it for me because I'll be at the game like on next Sunday with the Giants, right? Like I'm going to be at the game for the Giants. I'm going to try to have my daughters run the show again. My daughters had to run the show this past Sunday until the fourth quarter, because we had a 60th birthday party. We came in, we rocked out. And so, Justin, thank you so much for letting me know that you enjoyed it. For those of you who want to partake in this, head on over to patreon.com/NB9ERS. It's right there under Zach. You guys see the address down there. And join the $5 tier, $10 tier, $20 tier. That's where all the bonus content happens. Patreon.com/NB9ERS. And for those of you who are watching right now, 916_49er, I see you out there, man. If you're watching on the Nothing But Niners channel, which I know you are, please make sure you come on over and subscribe to the 49ers Hive channel. Those guys do a great job. 49ERSHIVE.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in, spending your Wednesday night with us. Halfway through the week, damn near halfway through the season, guys. Cherish it. We're going to look up. It's going to be Halloween. We're going to look down. We're going to look back up. It's going to be Thanksgiving. These seasons fly by just like that, man. So we really do have to take it all in and really just appreciate the moment. So much has been going on, so much chaos, so many injuries that it's hard to really enjoy it, right? And Basketball just started. My Dubs got a win last night to start the season. This is the best time of the year. This is the best time of the year. Basketball's on. Football's on. The holidays are coming. It's not 100 degrees outside anymore, so you can actually wear layers and dress appropriately. So I'm excited. I'm happy. This is the best time of the year for me. So with that all being said, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Make sure you hit like. Make sure you hit subscribe. Our personal handles are below on the screen. Do us a solid and follow us on X. Mike, if you could do us the honors.
Yeah, guys, this is going to be a rough week here. Stay patient, stay faithful. Make sure you guys are locked in, and do not be discouraged regardless of the outcome of this game, regardless of how ugly of a loss it is or how ugly of a win it is. It's going to be ugly. I can promise you that. It's going to be a defensive battle, so make sure you guys have that all in mind when you go into this. Do not expect the Niners to win this game 34-12 or anything like that, and if it does happen, wow, we are much better than what we thought, okay? The last thing that I want to remind everybody of is that the trade deadline is approaching. We may have to do an emergency podcast, so make sure that you guys are not only subscribed to both channels, but you have those notifications turned on. All right? That's going to do it. On behalf of Matt in his absence, on behalf of Zach, and on behalf of myself, we hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we will be back to you guys very soon. And as always, go Niners.